Now is the time.
Forever? Tangent. Old.
Halt.
Hashtag always MGM.
You are approaching the unloading area.
Calm down. AK haters.
But what if it could? Behold, the majesty of the Sistine ceiling.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
Ha! What a cute ending.
Aloha and
Don't Dillo it.
This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank. And are we here? Is it happening?
Who knows?
We're over on our YouTube channel live for this portion of the Theme Park Thursday podcast. And a couple of things happened that I wasn't prepared for. One, there have been several streams recently where we have been on the YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
And the X Twitter.
Yeah.
All together at the same time.
Yes.
Last week with Skipper Bob, check out the archives for our Skipper Bob drinking episode. Facebook was like, no, we're not letting you in.
Yeah.
Now, did I fix that in the course of the week? No.
No.
So tonight here, I do the countdown. And I hit live in the middle of the countdown because I don't want everyone to sit through 30 seconds of the countdown.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Like 15, I hit it just so you get a 10-second count. And the thing is spinning. It's spinning. And I'm like, oh, it's not going to make it. It's not going to make it.
Uh-huh.
And as I'm getting the pinwheel of death, right before 0 hits, it says, oh, you can't be on X Twitter without a premium account. And I'm like, isn't that what I have? I have no time to figure this out. And then what happens? I realize I'm on a blank screen here without the intro, and it went live. I didn't think it was going to go live. I thought the little signal was like, sorry, you failed.
Right.
Not this time. And I would have to hit go live again. I was like, oh, it's live, and we're not there.
Right. Yeah.
So then I start the intro, and I'm mad then at
angry.
I'm angry at StreamYard. This is why everyone does their podcast recordings on Discord, apparently.
Listen, all right, I'll tangent about that when you're done. Go ahead.
And here we are. We're here,
yeah.
And we're just splitting the podcast up. First part here on the YouTube channel, and then there'll be a second portion at DillosDizResort.com. Dillo's Diz Resort. Of course, that's our Patreon with memberships beginning as low as $1 per month. DillosDizResort.com. That, of course, with the $1 gets you into the one channel Discord that we're world renowned for. That's the segue I want for Jen.
Oh, okay, perfect. You know what? I'm going to try to hit go live on the X Twitter while we're sitting here. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, and just to see if it did anything, but no more. We're not allowed anymore.
No,
that's it.
Yeah. You're doing really well with all the viewers you're having on the X Twitter. Denied.
Well, that's enough now. Mm-hmm. So the Discord. Frank and I were in person together 2 days in a row this weekend. Mm-hmm. And after hearing people, Steffers and Skipper Bob, all these people are talking about the Discord and recording the podcast. And I'm like, all right, so you can go live on Discord. Maybe I try to figure that out. Mm-hmm. And we just pop into the Discord and surprise everyone. Can't figure it out. I could not figure it out. Still can't. I Googled. I followed the steps. I don't see go live. And then I'm like, do I have to create a new channel? Because we can't do that. We can't create new channels. Yeah. So there's no way I can go live on my one channel. If someone can confirm this, but I was so excited to have us pop into the Discord at some point. That never happened. So we're here on StreamYard.
I've been trying to find the loophole of the one channel Discord because we have some free members at DillosDizResort.com, and I'm trying to find a way into bringing everyone together because honestly, I don't want to go on the Patreon app too much. So we are. So with that, I'm looking for the loophole. How do I get around the one channel Discord? And it's like, the Man in Black said to Jacob, it's like, I'm going to find a loophole. I'm going to find a loophole.
Yeah. I think we would have to create another channel because I think you can connect Patreon and Discord together. They can marry each other. I'm pretty sure. So
I thought we did that already.
No, I don't think we did that. I think we just tell everyone here's a link to our Discord over here. We do it the old-fashioned way. I don't think we properly connected it. A second Discord account.
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Dillo
All we're
2.
doing here is showing how old we are.
So old.
Which, of course, segues into Find Frank for 50 happening in less than 2 months in Walt Disney World. It's our second annual Communicore meetup, our Dillo's Diz meetup. 4 days, 4 days more or less. Friday the 13th, we will be in Magic Kingdom for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. That much is known publicly. Only the DillosDizResort.com paying guests have other information that you're missing out on right now. DillosDizResort.com. Happy 50th birthday last week. Failed to mention to good friend Ali Flores.
Yep.
So recently engaged. His booming TikTok account.
So much happening on his birthday and in his festivities. He made it even more festivus for the rest of us.
And also yesterday was Papa Dillo's birthday.
What? There's so many birthdays. It's a big birthday month.
Papa Dillo also shares a birthday with a good friend of mine who turned 50 as well yesterday. I don't know. Other people are turning 50. I don't understand. What year is it?
Why? How come everyone's turning 50 around you? That's weird. That's so weird. Why are all these people turning 50?
Well, here's so I just to say before we get back to the meetup, I left him a message yesterday, as I like to do. Usually, when the Cowboys or the New York Rangers lose, and I haven't done one in a while, so I was a little out of practice.
Yeah,
there's an all-time great New York radio broadcaster who I think once in a while fills in on WFAN here in New York City. The Schmoozer, Steve.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the Schmoozer, he likes to talk like this. And he likes to ridicule the Icelander fans because he's. I'm
having flashbacks.
What
to being around the two
that?
Of you.
And he's warm and fuzzy and lovable and sexy, just like. And so I would leave these messages.
Yeah.
On like, hello, so sorry to hear about your cowpokes. So I left him that kind of message yesterday, but it reminded me of we're big talk radio junkies. That's why we're here over all the years, whether it's New York talk radio, syndicated talk radio, Real Radio 104.1 in Orlando with the Phillips File. Come on.
Real Radio 104.1.
Glorious I-4 traffic afternoons after my breakfast shift at the Disney MGM studios, listening to the Phillips File all the way home. So good.
So good. And we were having a barbecue for Papa Dillo's birthday over the weekend, trying to, we're counting down. We are in the final countdown.
The final
our
countdown.
Dillo trip coming up, and so there's much to discuss, and many new things that Mama and Papa Dillo didn't realize were a thing. And we were able to check in for our cruise, which was very exciting. So that's for some of us, it was very exciting. For others,
traumatizing.
It was a lot of travel anxiety, in the words of the 8-year-old.
So all day long, I'm not prepared to check in to the cruise, but I want to try to get the same time as you and not do it 3 days before.
Right.
So we got to get, the pictures with the shoulder and above. You gotta get all the things. And so I'm like, so I get the pictures. Yeah. And then I'm not at home at the time. And so I'm like, I need the passports to take the picture of the passports. So I get home at like 11:30. And I'm like, all right, let's just make sure we have the passports. Oh, there's my passport. There's Mrs. Dillo's passport. And Mrs. Dillo pulls out the 8-year-old's passport and opens it. And like, oh, look how cute, she was. And then turns it around and goes, the 8-year-old's passport expired on July 8th. All the things.
The inside out emotions are just going crazy, running around the board in your brain.
And I'm like, what do you mean? How we gonna expedite? What are we gonna like all there was about 10 minutes of that, like how anxiety looks like this. See that going on right there?
Yeah.
So and the 8-year-old's in camp all week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we panic, and so we're reading everything, and as we're reading through it, I'm like, okay, I think this says, because there's a child, a passport, or a non-hospital governmental issued birth certificate. And Mrs. Dillo, I think we have that. I'm like, where is that? Mickey unpacking gif.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what's happening on the other side of my bed right now. And so all right, here's that. But Mrs. Dill is like, you will call that 800 DCL number in the morning and verify. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but we need to get a passport photo. We got to watch post office. None around here. Forget trying to do that around here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at Mama and Papa Dillo's post office for the passport hours.
Sure.
And so I call, and very lovely on the DCL 800 number. She's like, no, absolutely. As long as it's not a hospital one, you should be good. Okay. So I'm already planning still like Saturday morning to do the passport because I don't trust it.
Yeah. Can you get one of those like passport cards? What's like the fastest thing you could get? It's just a backup.
And breaking news, they verified it, right? Because that's what happened then. After I uploaded everything, then it's like pending. 5 minutes later, pending. Why is it still pending? So they just sent me the thing that said, and I quote. Will I quote it? I quote.
I might quote in a second. Just give me
stand by. Where is it? I will quote. It's oh no, it's not there. Where is it? It doesn't exist.
The quote never happened except in Frank's brain to calm himself.
Yeah. Your online check-in information has been reviewed and verified for your cruise aboard the Disney Fantasy.
Yeah.
For sure. As I sometimes say to the, you sure? For sure.
Yeah.
But needless to say, I'm probably still going to try to get the passport expedited. Because the other part of it was like, I texted you guys at like 6 a.m. Realizing that you're sleeping later these days in the summer. And
we're in the basement.
And I'm like, they don't have passports, right? The kids don't have passports. And Mr. Sundell is like, they do. And I'm like, oh.
And I was going to be like, what? Why are we? I'm not going to ask why you're asking. I'll find that out later. I'll find that out another time. It'll be fine. It's fine. No, but I did say that I believe 2 years ago, well, because we had been waiting. I think that was still during the time where it was taking a while to get passports. And I was like, are we getting our passports in time for this cruise? And I don't know if I feel like it was Long Island Frank, but it may have been somebody else who mentioned, no, you're good because you're in the Eastern Caribbean and you're on the Disney Cruise Line and all the things that you'll be fine if you just have like multiple forms of ID or whatever. And I was like, but will I? I can't chance that. I just want the passports. Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to do it just to see if I get it in time, and then if it doesn't come, I'll just roll the dice,
Right? Yeah.
But I'm not happy.
Jeffers is mentioning if you can get off a tropical island without cab money, I mean, you'll be fine then with this. This will be. Yeah, I saw that because also in these parts, we have started This Is Us with Mama Dillo. I don't know if I've mentioned that on the podcast or not, but we have been like, we're sitting down and you're watching this now. And so we hit play and we just started. Mama Dillo staying up till all hours of the night watching it. But Mr. Sandalo and I typically tap out. However, we have been having late nights ourselves. My typical bedtime, 10 to 11 p.m. at night. I don't do this late night stuff. I'm mad if I'm up at 11 o'clock. Here, midnight, we're like, what are we doing awake? We have to stop watching This Is Us. Anyway, But when it was our time to check in, I was like, oh, we can check in. Maybe I'll stay awake longer and check in. And I'm like, oh, I have to do all the passports and the headshots. And I also knowing I got to do it for Mama and Papa Dillo too. I have to do it for 6 people. I'm not doing this at midnight. So I waited. But yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Also, I want to talk about what would be normally, I think, a fog that exists between 2020 and 2022.
Sure.
Like, I have no recollection, and Mrs. Dillo says because she did it, but I have no recollection of talking about any of this stuff 2 years ago. I only remember doing the like, you got to talk to the guy on the computer about about all the COVID stuff. And that's all I remember in the prep.
Yeah, we had to do the testing before, and you had to get it certified. Oh my God, that's right.
Like, that was
and
anxiety.
then Mama and Papa Dillo did theirs the day before the cruise in the hotel on like a virtual thing, and had to swab in front of them. But why did they have to, is it I think because if you got a PCR within whatever certain amount of time and had it verified, I don't know, but it was a lot to go through. And Papa Dillo was like, the travel anxiety for Papa Dillo at that point was very high. But yeah, I basically just went to like August 2022 in my phone. I was like, oh, here's everyone's passports and pictures. This is making it easy. And oh, look, there's their COVID test too that were negative. I'm not doing this at midnight. Genie Plus logo / Dillo's Diss t-shirt. Yeah. Val says, I got my real ID last week and getting my passport renewed early. I always want to be ready at a moment's notice to leave the country. Smart. Yeah.
Da 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 da. Well, before we take it over to Dillo's Resort.com, I do have 3 topics or subjects that I'd like to discuss here. This is supposed to be 30 minutes long, this portion, so we'll see if we get through this in 12 minutes.
13 minutes. We do have to do a 30-minute, 1-minute topic thing again.
Oh, yeah, we got to bring that back.
Yeah.
Country Bear Jamboree opened today officially in the Magic Kingdom, so we'll briefly touch on that. Rise of the Resistance is playing with a single rider line, so we should talk about that. How long will the testing go on for, and should it be at least 8 weeks more? And then finally, one thing I really want to talk about, which is the ye old scare zone that was announced for Halloween Horror Nights. We're not placing bets. We're going in order. And
wrapping it up in 10 minutes.
The Country Bear Jamboree opened today. Needless to say, it has its varying degrees of response, as all things do these days. It's like a Country Bear Jamboree X tweet. A Star Wars acolyte X tweet. A Country Bear Jamboree. Okay.
Tiana's is down again. Okay.
Yeah. That's right. Retweet, and here we are.
Why is this on my feed? Okay.
It's like, is it a retweet? Oh, this is a retweet. Oh, this is a retweet. Okay. Anywho, Jen, have you watched any of the clips yet of the Country Bears singing the Disney songs?
No, I did see someone say, "Oh, I saw it, and I have thoughts," and then that's all I saw, but I did not scroll through.
We have said this before on the podcast. Do you think we have been on this attraction? I only can think of one time, more than 3 times, Jen. Have you been
no,
on?
I feel like I've always said once, but I can't recall more than that.
Yeah, I only can recall. I'm willing to say twice.
Okay.
Like, maybe there was like a random time that when I was living in Florida, I went with people, like something like that. Like, I'm willing to.
I could have been there in the mid-2000s and not remembered. I don't know.
Absolutely. So what I have seen so far, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go see it because I'm intrigued, and but people are gonna feel a certain way about the music choices, the song choices, the style choices, and I get it.
Yeah.
But am I more likely to go inside the air conditioning for 20 minutes to hear Bear animatronics sing Disney songs country style? Probably. So there's that, which then leads me to this thought, because then I started thinking about the Hall of Presidents again. And we had a conversation 2 weeks ago, right before the 4th of July. It was our 4th of July podcast. And, it's talking about, we accept what it is in the Hall of Presidents, and we haven't been in a while. I want to make a suggestion, and I want to see what you think about the suggestion. Because I think it would be challenging, but I'm going to say it anyway. Jen's like, what are you doing?
What are you building up to?
Let's go into the Hall of Presidents, and you get the little history lesson and all that. What if, when you're announcing all the presidents at the end, what if there was like a randomizer where you get like 2 or 3 speeches from different presidents? So it's like Star Tours, where you get Jen's just shaking her head a bit.
No.
Can't do it?
I'm not doing it. I don't want that.
You don't want that?
I don't want that in 2024.
Yeah.
Things are too crazy.
Yeah.
And you roll that dice and you get 2 people, and it could be from any time. It's not even current day. You can literally get presidents, obviously, from any time. But I feel like the craziness that we live in right now is not a time to pin 2 people up there and they go, this is who I got. I don't want to see those tweets. I don't want to see every time I go in there, I get this person, or what do I care about this person's speech? I don't want it.
Why did I get Franklin Pierce again?
Right. Exactly. Your favorite president.
He was 14. Franklin Pierce was 14. You need the 10-year-old in on the.
Yeah. Although a lot of that has been replaced with Mets lineups, so
Yeah.
And every other team lineup. So I don't know.
We were talking about this last night was like my all-time childhood favorite nights of summer, which is the baseball all-star game, and it has changed considerably back then. But I was saying to Mrs. Dillo that there was no, like, ESPN was barely a thing when I was a kid. There was no MLB network. You didn't have like all these different places to watch random baseball games. You had the Mets, you had the Yankees, you had the Braves if you were lucky on TBS, if you had cable. Yeah, well, so for a little while we had Chicago Cub games with Harry Carey in the afternoon. But somehow, because I had baseball cards, obviously. Yeah. I knew every starting lineup across Major League Baseball. In 5th grade, someone challenged me to write all 20, at the time, 26 teams, 28 teams of Major League Baseball, write down the starting lineups. I did all but 1 third baseman for the California Angels. And Mrs. Dillo just looks at me and was like, so you're the 10-year-old? Basically, that's what you're saying.
Yep. Accurate. Can I just since we're on this, so if someone's just tuning in and going, Country Bear Jamboree, oh cool, the Mets. So we were out by where we normally live today and driving home tonight, and I'm playing the kids' request. Can you play the Sunshine Song, aka Francisco Lindor's music,
walk-up
music, which is My Girl.
Right.
So I go, hey, you know who on the Apple iPhone, who I don't want to call right now.
Up here.
Play My Girl on Spotify. And they go, My Girl? What? I'm like, that is the name of the song you're referring to. And then we had to listen to the beginning multiple times as they tried to time out exactly when they would announce Francisco Lindor. And so we did that. All right, wait, one more time. Hold on. We have to say it at this second, because then this second, and then we have to be done by this second. And they figured it all out. And then they were like, okay, we're good with it. I'm like, do you want to hear the rest of the song? Like, it's a really classic song that you should be listening to. Francisco Lindor? Okay, that's fine. Anyway.
Final note here on the Country Bear Jamboree. In August, will we see this? Or will we have to go for Not So Scary in September when there's no time?
Right. Is there time in August? It feels like there's not already. Everything's over. I don't know. I have no time for anything. My head. Maybe.
August, maybe. We're going to be on that. I would assume we're going to be down that way because of Tiana's. So
yeah. And I could see all 3 kids being like, "What? What is this?" And
It
I
can
would
go
love to
either
kind
way.
of see their reactions to it. Yeah, they could be terrified or they could be like, "What is happening right now?" So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, to be continued.
Yeah.
The single rider line on Rise of the Resistance is being tested at #AlwaysMGM, aka Hollywood Studios. There was a great video from Attractions Magazine that showed the pathway into basically the side entrance of the Stormtrooper room there on the Star Destroyer. You take out the first 2. You don't go on the first 2 pre-shows when you do single rider.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
Yeah.
I think. And I'll tell you, I mean, I'm not getting on this attraction when there's too long of a line, and I'm not doing lightning. I've been on it enough.
Right. Yeah.
So, but it's hard to miss those. Like those 2 pre-shows really get you going into it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a complete package with those 2 pre-shows. What do you think of single rider for Rise of the Resistance?
I agree with that. Like, I would hate to see someone who's never been on the ride just go single rider because they do miss out on that. And that's not cool. But for people who have been on it and kind of just want to hop on, or how many, like you've been solo in #AlwaysMGM, and you could just hop on yourself or whatever it is, or if you want one more bonus ride, or if you're with other people who don't want it, whatever it is. I think the option of having it is nice. And I do also get, let's say there's like a dad with really small kids and he's a super Star Wars freak. And it's like, this is a great way for him to see it, even if he misses the pre-show. I mean, that stinks, but at least he can get on the ride this way. Like, I like it as an option. I like single rider as an option on most rides. And considering how many seats are on Rise, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think of Test Track 2.0, whatever it's called, version 2. I think I only did the queue one time.
Yeah.
And I was in 2021, limited capacity, lower capacity. Every other time,
single rider. Yeah, for sure.
So I'm curious, and I'm curious if they're going to keep it. You know, there's part of me that has walked, gotten on the attraction with limited wait and no fast pass option, just walking through 20 minutes. I'm happy with 20 minutes. 20 minutes to Ray. I'm happy. So, obviously single rider, it will cut that down a little bit, but there's a part of me, and and I think it's a little bit of like in my history, even working in the parks where they build something up. They did the same thing in Docking Bay 7 with the restaurant. It's only going to be in the language of Batu, and then 3 months later, chicken is underneath, and I'm like, what are you doing? So there's a little bit of that with this choice where I feel like you're taking away.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to correct something I said. I did say a dad could, with small kids. It could be a mom too. Whoever is a Star Wars fan in your family. I just wanted to clear that up. I don't automatically assume
kid single rider.
Anyway.
And Lewis is in the chat here mentioning the test track didn't have a pre-show. It had a torture chamber aimed to reduce reriding. But I loved everything about the old original test track. So I'm super curious about what happens next year. With, test track 3.0. Finally, ye old scare zone, Jen. I know you've been paying close attention to the Halloween Horror Nights announcements.
Obviously.
I'm going to share the screen real quick just to wrap things up here.
Share the screen. Can you see it? Can you see my screen?
So the Scare Zone announcement, Torture Fair, come one, come all to the Renaissance Fair. Brave the gloriously gory medieval torture devices till you're put out of your misery. Tickets are on sale now.
That doesn't sound intriguing to me. I don't do that.
The houses usually get a lot of the attention, and then the scare zones are like, and also this. But obviously, this is going to grab my attention.
Sure, yes.
As someone who had no intention of going to Halloween Horror Nights this year, mostly because we're fully booked for our meetup in September.
Yes.
And I sort of want to sneak in a Jollywood Nights if I can in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Universal Studios, Universal Orlando Resort, Islands of Adventure, all the people in all the places there.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, for like one night, a weekend, I don't know. You want to invite Lenny Burrows, the Master of Rebels, the Lord of Misrule, the Merrymaker, down to be a part of the torture fair at Halloween Horror Nights this year. You just hit us up in the Dillo's Diz DM.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be on the Instas. It can be on the X Twitter.
Wherever.
You can go to dillosdiz@gmail.com. You can just send an email. But Lenny Burrows, I can speak for Lenny when I say he would be honored to participate for one weekend in the torture fair. Because Lenny is a god.
Yeah. Hashtag Lenny Burrows HHN. Start the hashtag, everybody. I mean, if that isn't a full circle moment, I don't know.
Started with Mr. Bean in 1998 in a scare zone instead of Bill and Ted's. And ends with Lenny Burrows.
In your birthday month? I mean, how perfect. How perfect would that be? I mean, I think October makes sense, no?
I mean, that's fine. Anyway, that everything all right? Everyone interrupted.
Mom and Papa Dillo's fridge, I guess, just made some new ice cubes. It sounded like Indiana Jones and the ball coming down the way. I don't know.
Speaking of scare zones, Mom and Papa Dillo. That is really all I wanted to say about. This has my attention, but I wanted to make an offer here to Universal Orlando Resort directly after spending 4 wonderful days there in June with the 8-year-old and Mrs. Dillo. We had a wonderful time. But Lenny Burrows at the torture fair.
Yeah. Makes sense. It just makes sense. Yeah.
I can't do it the whole time, though I would love to. But special attraction, one weekend only. What if I could? What if I could, just like at the Sterling Renaissance Festival, August 10th and 11th, one weekend only? Lenny is a god. What if I could, one weekend only, Halloween Horror Nights, Lenny at the torture fair?
Right. Hashtag Lenny Burrows HHN. Yeah. It makes sense.
Just putting things out there in the universe. I don't know if they work as well as they used to. And putting things out in the universal. Waka
waka.
But this is also how I managed to throw the first pitch out at the Rochester Red Wings as Lenny Burrows. Many years ago.
You're manifesting, and I think that's important to do.
You got to put it out there.
Yep.
One weekend only, Halloween Horror Nights. Let's go.
Let's go.
We're going to take it over to Dillo'sDizResort.com right now to wrap up the podcast. I don't know, maybe Jen will put in some nice interlude music in between here. I don't know.
I gotta watch This Is Us tonight. It's Theme Park Thursday Eve. I got things to do.
This audio will be dropping in the feed tomorrow, along with the second half of the podcast that is coming up right now. Until next time, she's Jen, and I'm Frank. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Live from Dillo'sDizResort.com on the summer evening of the heat wave that has been barreling through New York for the last week or so. Apparently, the break is coming tonight. It's going to go like to 86 tomorrow.
Allegedly.
There's something that has come up recently as we are preparing for these 2 trips in the next 2 months that I think I don't want to necessarily like get negative. It is what it is, right? We know ticket prices are going up everywhere. We know how it is, and we like to call it Disney math sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But last week, Jen put a few numbers down
Mm-hmm.
regarding Walt Disney World ticket prices that gave me pause.
Uh-huh.
And I would like to just go through them one by one.
Sure.
We're aware of the dynamic pricing.
Mm-hmm.
We're aware of special event pricing.
Mm-hmm.
We're aware of the park hopper add-ons. We're aware you can buy more, save more if you're doing a 7 or 8 day trip,
Yeah.
and then you're buying park tickets for all those days. We get all of that. Part of it is I see a lot of X tweets over the years that like, I just got my Walt Disney World vacation priced out for this many thousands of dollars. Does this sound correct? This is out of control. Is this wrong? How wrong is this? And, usually the first response is like, don't price out the Grand Floridian those numbers. Like,
Yeah.
have to, if you're looking to be budget conscious, you got to pick the value option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's that part of it too. So as I see Jeffers in the chat here, who has not bought his tickets yet for September,
Mm-hmm.
we knew we got our Not So Scary,
Mm-hmm.
and we know what the deal is there. And then we were debating the 3-day, 3-park deal Disney has been running most of 2024. There is a 4-day, 4-park deal.
Mm-hmm.
Magic Kingdom spikes that price up a little bit, but you can do the 3-day, 3-park, 1 day in AK, 1 day in Studios, 1 day in Epcot for, somewhere in the average of $80 to $95 per day, which, as we know at this rate, is a steal.
Yeah. Can I just say, I know we don't want to be too negative, but it did kind of annoy me that they're putting out this promotion about the $89.99. But then when you go look at it, if you choose certain days, it's not $89 or $99. Now you have, because of the dynamic pricing, you're also paying more there too. And it's like, okay, well, if you're going to offer this, then offer it for a really restricted amount of time and have it as its own fixed rate, or do a certain amount of things until first come first serve, whatever it is.
Yep.
But like that was like, oh wait, so not always $89 and $99. Let me read that fine print. Okay.
So Jen did some numbers running as regards to the days that we have leading up to our time on the Disney Fantasy in August.
Mm-hmm.
And we were playing with many scenarios, which included a Friday night Not So Scary party, which included a 1-day, 1-park in Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
So there were multiple factors that led to her pricing, but I thought we'd just share them and talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
Because initially, what we thought made the most sense, because we're staying at the boardwalk, was, and keep in mind, Papa Dillo is still recovering 15 months later from a major back surgery.
Yeah.
And, so Epcot seemed like the option if we're going to do 1 day, 1 park.
Yeah.
We're going to do Epcot.
Yeah.
The kids are going to go crazy for the Moana.
Mm-hmm.
None of us have been to the Moana area yet.
Mm-hmm. Or seen hashtag always future world.
Communicore Hall is ready to go. And so we'll do 1 day, 1 park at Epcot, and then Not So Scary.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we started. Now we're a party of 9.
Mm-hmm.
And, we at first we were going to like run the numbers all together.
Yeah.
So 1 day, 1 park for Epcot.
Yeah.
August, a Thursday and a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, do you wanna?
Sure. On Thursday, the total for 9 people would be $1,273.75. But if you went on Friday, it would be $1,369.60.
Yeah. And keep in mind, the 10-year-old is now a 10-year-old, so Disney adult.
Disney adult. It's fine. I'm fine with it. It's fine. Everything is fine.
So there's a $96 difference there.
Mm-hmm.
And just to go to Epcot. And when we say go to Epcot, it probably means morning and evening with a midday break. So it's not
Full
12
day.
to 13 hours running the park.
Now, Lewis, before you say anything, I know you're thinking, but it could be. You could just stay at the park all day. We will not.
Not when we have the boardwalk and right there.
Yeah, exactly. No way.
Sitting there waiting for me to go over to the beach club and jump in the quiet pool.
Seriously. I mean, what do you think we're doing there? We would never. That's a different resort. We wouldn't do
Different
those things.
resort, not allowed.
Mhm.
Then you priced out Magic Kingdom.
One day at Magic Kingdom, in case
One
we did
day.
like a 1 day, 1 park Epcot, 1 day, 1 park Magic Kingdom.
Not so scary, not included.
Right.
Jen, the numbers.
So that 1 day, so that would actually be the Thursday, not Friday, because Friday would be the not so scary party. So you would have less time. We couldn't go back at night, right, or anything like that. The total for 9 of us is $1,417.55.
And keep in mind, Disney thinks this is the slow season.
Yeah.
So, yes, the 2 children ticket prices are going to bring the average down that I'm about to say, because they are under 10. But you're talking about over $150 per ticket per day.
Oh, yeah.
In the slow season, when you have a ticket deal for 1 day, 1 parks across the board, running $85 to $95 on average. And I didn't run the Magic Kingdom one, so I don't want to know why that large of a gap. Why a $60 difference in the gap?
Yes.
$30. I'm with you. You want to tell me in your slow period, $129. And this is with taxes included. Don't give me the, well, it says $129 on the calendar. And then I hit it. And it's like, taxes.
Yeah.
I get it. Why?
And I also I want to know if anyone out there, if anyone listening, if anyone on the social media, maybe anyone already knows about it. Has anyone gone, I'm going to go through every calendar day of Disney and find the day that there's a ticket, probably to Animal Kingdom, for $109 because y'all say your ticket's starting at $109. When is that day? Because I don't ever see it. And I play around. I play the game of what if we went to Disney? I play that game all the time. I don't see that 109 number. Where is it? When is it? Thank you.
And Lewis in the chat here talk about if you go 10 days, the last 5 days are practically free. Yes. Buy more, save more. 100%. I get what I'm picking up what they're throwing down. However, people don't have the vacation time. Even if they can afford it.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have the vacation time to spare.
Yeah.
And usually they got to send their kids to camp all summer.
Yeah.
As I'm learning. And I learned how Mama and Papa Dillo could afford all the Disney trips because we didn't have to go to camp.
We never went to camp.
And so all that money that should have been spent on camp.
Yeah. Went to Disney. I don't send my kids to camp and I still can't afford the beach club. So I don't know. So there's that.
So, I'm not, again, like everyone has the story. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to, but I know it's part of the strategy too of like, well, you want capacity to keep down. So we're going to make you want it at 10 days.
Yeah.
Rather than have a bunch of people say yes to the 4 or 5 days. Yes. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm simply sharing the prices.
Yeah.
We're talking about them and we're asking what's the reasoning.
Yeah.
Besides that extra $30 I'm talking about.
Like really say what the reasoning is. We also played around with a 1 day park hopper. Thinking perhaps we would do 1 full day Magic Kingdom and split Epcot MGM, let's say. A 1 day park hopper
for 9
people. $1,935.14. Now you go, wait a second. That's only 500 more, almost, than a 1 day in Magic Kingdom.
Mhm.
Totally worth it because you can go wherever you want.
Yep. That's not $80 more. Like it's only $50 more per, rather than the $80 you always hear about for a park hopper.
Yeah.
Party of 9 going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party on a Friday in the month of August. Get in at 4.
Yep.
Starts at 7.
Mhm.
Ends at midnight. We have 3 young children.
Yeah.
Making it to midnight.
And a father who is still recovering from everything that happened last year.
Once we ran this number, we realized we'll only be going to Not So Scary once this year. $1,119.36. Now, it's $120 per. It's not. Is that really that bad? How much candy can you get in the time? How much quicker can you get on the attractions? Compared to the 14, 17, 55 of 1 day in Magic Kingdom only, right? And not the same day because we don't want the park to close at 6 o'clock.
Right.
So we're talking about the Thursday.
Yeah.
$300 more on that 1 day, all day in Magic Kingdom versus I would guarantee we could do the same amount of things that we would do on that 14, 17, 55 day compared to the Halloween party at 11, 19. Wait, no, we would do more at the Halloween party. What did I just say? Did I say it the right way?
I think you're saying that we could
do more at the Halloween party for 11, 19. Right?
Probably, maybe.
Yeah. Even.
But you're rushed because you have until midnight. So you're trying to do it until midnight with the parade, with the fireworks, with 3 kids, and
but you're not getting a parade. Parade and fireworks is worth $300, I think. Don't you think, for 9 people, right? If you break that down.
Yeah.
I had to think about what I was saying. $300 for telephone from $300 for basically getting the parade and the fireworks, which breaks down, right, is $30 per person. Great deal. So you're breaking even there. I didn't mean to apply one over the other. And basically, attractions wise, you kind of got to do the same thing for $300 for the party of 9. You get a parade and fireworks.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So then Jen went into the combinations.
All the combinations. And Lewis is saying that we need a version with scribble all over it showing the math. And that's exact. What about this? What about this combination? What about this? What else would we do?
Yeah. So so you did the 3-day 3-park that we're getting in September, but you did it for 9. And you did the 4-day Park Magic ticket, which includes the Magic. It's special because it has the Magic Kingdom. So Park Magic.
Right. Yeah, because I figured we are getting in on Wednesday. As of now, we're not planning on going into a park on Wednesday. But I was like, you know what? If the 4-day or the 3-day, we could technically do a half day and go like late afternoon and to the night or whatever into a park on Wednesday. Maybe it would be worth it. So I just played around with it. The 4-day Park Magic ticket, that's only $99 per, is $3,625. The 3-day 3-park ticket, which is not including Magic Kingdom, is $25.59.
So on average, right, you're talking $100 a day per person in the party of 9, because $36.25 is basically $400. Right? If I do the math, $400 times 9 is $3,600. So $100 a day. It looks okay. Yeah. But you don't have enough time to make it okay.
Right.
The price looks good.
Yeah.
The time you have coming in and leaving, because don't try to convince Papa Dillo he can't get on a cruise ship later.
No. Listen, last year, we didn't know what we were doing when it came to Disney cruising, even though the Snidillos have done it, and Mom and Papa Dillo had done it, but we hadn't done it in a very long time. So we were like, oh, we should probably check in like 2 weeks before the cruise or whatever it was. And so we got like the latest boarding time. And Papa Dillo was like, what? Because he wants to be eating a cheeseburger by noon on like any cruise ship he's on. I don't think he could do that another time, but that's kind of his goal. And so we were, oh my God, by the way, Papa Dillo, as you just heard in the background, the phone ringing, and everyone is like, oh, can we get the number so we can have our name announced? Which is really funny because yesterday, call from Valerie Davidson. But Papa Dillo's on the phone, so if you hear him talking,
there it is.
There is. Now he's in. Yeah.
Can I just say?
Yes.
I'm surprised at this age. Like, I don't laugh like Papa Dillo. I cough like Papa Dillo.
Yeah.
I sneeze sometimes like Papa Dillo.
You have penny incidents like Papa Dillo.
Sure. Yeah, penny incidents like. But I'm surprised that I have not.
Yeah.
Taken on the Papa Dillo laugh.
That laugh, when we were kids, he could be in the basement on the phone, and we could be 2 floors up in our bedrooms and hear that laugh on the phone. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyhow, we've gotten sidetracked. The Papa Dillo,
the cruise ship getting on
cruise
early.
Ship. Oh yeah. So he was like, "What?" But the good thing about when we got on the cruise ship last year was we like walked right on the boat. There was no crowd. I had seen people posting on social media the crowd that was at the terminal. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be rough later. Nope, we walked right on because everybody was already there. So there's like a benefit to them. But he was very big on wanting to go on as soon as we could this year. So that also takes away, like, we're not going anywhere Saturday morning. I guess you could, but you're not. You're not gonna cut it close. You're not going on the movie ride to miss your flight. You're not missing the Disney cruise. So we couldn't do that.
No, and we thought about AK. We thought about AK in the morning.
Yeah, for like a second.
But then you gotta go back to the hotel. You gotta get the bags. It's all.
That's so far away, and we don't have a car. And
there's no Skyliner from the boardwalk. If you could have the Skyliner at the boardwalk and ruin my views, take me to the AK.
Oh, Lewis is saying you are there. You have free childcare, and you aren't leaving the kids and going to the park to do research and recording for the podcast. We are different people.
Listen, we gotta get the jelly rolls.
I mean, we do kind of have to try to figure out jelly rolls if we can.
Yeah,
we gotta talk to Scotty.
Mama Dillo to be in a room with the 3 children sleeping.
Who are all awake? Who are we kidding? They're going to be sleeping? Come on. We're so excited. We're at Disney. Or at least my children won't. Okay. So that was the 4-day magic, 3-day magic. I also did, what if we did the 3-day 3-park magic ticket and the party? What if we did that? That would be $36.78.
That was $53 more than the magic tickets.
The 4-day part, yeah. Yes.
So the 3-day 3-park with the Halloween party, because Magic Kingdom is not in the 3-day 3-park, $36.78. 4-day park magic, $36.25.
Yeah.
Does that sound right? Don't think that sounds right. I don't think that's how it should go.
No. 1-day park hopper and the party, $30.54, which is $600 less, almost. I like to round up. Frank's doing actual math. I don't do math, so I just round my numbers, and I'm like, it's almost 100. No, it's almost 500. No, whatever it is. 1-day park hopper and 1-day MK, $33.52. I mean, as of now, this might be the route we're taking.
Yes.
And again,
we have our tickets for September. We do not have them in August.
We don't have them for next month. But we just blanked on what I was going to say. The 1-day park hopper. I think it makes sense to then do like Magic Kingdom on the Thursday and then park hop possibly on the Friday. That's kind of where we're leaning. Plus, Papa Dillo, the lover of the Great Movie Ride, has never been on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
That's
we need that content. I mean, if we're gonna be selfish for a moment, there's certain content we're gonna need from Papadillo during this trip, and if we can get that,
what was this room? What was this?
right? And I can't do it. I don't understand. I go into Mickey and Minnie's. I don't know where we are. Past that tunnel, I'm out. I have no idea what we're doing. So
What,
you
the
would have
opening
to go
tunnel?
Yeah.
No. Well, the waterfalls is pretty clear. I feel like after the waterfalls, it gets confusing. The waterfall, the water area is all alien because that's a long stretch you got to go down.
I hid a lot during my time through the alien scene, but yeah, that's true. But it's just like my mind like glitches when I'm in there. Like, wait, look at all these things. Oh, wait, where am I? Yeah, it's weird.
Lewis is saying it sounds pretty okay for 9 people, and that's saying it doesn't.
Right.
But when you see it, you're like, when you see it laid out in this many options,
yeah,
I question why some things are the way.
There's such a gap between certain numbers.
Yeah, the 3-day 3-park ticket being $600 more than a 1-day park hopper and party confuses me. 3-day 3-park ticket $36.78, 1-day park hopper and party $30.54. Because in theory, you're doing 3 parks in 2 days for $600 less than 3 days and 3 parks. That confuses me a little bit.
But Disney math, it all makes sense. I mean, like,
am I still going to pay the price? Would I pay for any of these options? I would.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're going to be buying one of these options, so that makes it's fine. But it's so interesting to see like how they choose their. It's all weird. One day, this was gonna. I thought this is the way we were gonna go, which is 1 day, 1 park, Epcot and Magic Kingdom. So 1 day at each of those parks, which is $27.86. And that being like from the 1 day park hopper and 1 day Magic Kingdom is like, oh, you're saving a good amount of money there.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's still $300 per $150 a day. Again. I live in New York City where everything is dynamic pricing, Broadway theaters, baseball games. Jen went to a game, went to City Field last week. She was basically on the field for the same price she was in the upper deck by the foul pole 3 weeks before. Yeah,
exactly.
Like, doesn't make sense.
No.
Tuesday versus Friday. It's a weekend.
It's all annoying. That part's all annoying. Because if you stay 3 days and eat and buy a lot more than 1 day, sure, yeah. But Star Tours, I don't know that Papadillo could do Star Tours, but he has done it plenty of times. I mean, Papadillo has been on Star Tours lots. He has not been on Rise though.
He hasn't been on Rise, so if he was looking to ride a Rise, I might have to send Papadillo through that. Because they've been on Smuggler's Run.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and that would be. I mean, it's a walk, but if he was going to go to sit in Muppets, then
right. I mean, Muppets we'll definitely be doing. What if we could? All right, and then the other combo I did was the 1 day park Epcot, and then the Magic Kingdom party only, and that was $23.92. And this I really did think Papadillo was going to lean towards because I was like, well, you get in after 4, you got the whole night. I think his concern is it's the night before the cruise.
Yep.
You got 3 kids. You got Mom and Papadillo, who also may get tired by that point. I don't think he felt like, are we really in there until midnight? And therefore, is it worth it then? Yeah. If we're pushing through. Right. And if maybe we were staying an extra day and the next day was a resort day, maybe he'd do it because we could all sleep in and just chill out the whole next day. Right. I feel like he would have gone more that way at that point. But otherwise it didn't really, he's not confident in it.
And because so many people have asked here in the chat, you did run the numbers for the APs.
Yeah, I was like, because I literally went line by line with Papadillo for this. I was like, tell me a combination. I'll tell you how much it is because I've done them all. And then I was like, but you know what? If you really just want to throw it all out there, we could get some annual passes for the whole family, all 9 of us. That total would be $13,041. I was like, but after this trip, we're like halfway to it being free. So it's fine. It all works out. He didn't really buy into that one, but
He didn't go for that one.
No, Mom and Dillo was like, "Oh, remember when we all had annual passes?" That's as far as that went.
Yeah, when they were $250 for in the 90s.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean,
but yeah, I mean, but and to say that is $1,450 per person, somewhere around there, $1,450 per person of all 9 of us. Without your memory maker, that still annoys me.
Oh yeah, because that's how when the prices were going up. Because we, Mr. Sandalo and I, we chose not to go to Hawaii for our honeymoon, which was our original plan, and instead go to Mexico and Disney and get an annual pass because all of that was going to be cheaper than Hawaii. So we chose that. And then after that, we were like, ooh, annual passes. And we could talk ourselves into it because we're like, oh, well, you get the pictures and you get this. You get the discount, you get this all makes sense. And as time went on and you take the memory maker away and you take all these other things away, things stop making it's Disney math will always make sense to me. And again, we're not complaining about any of these numbers. We are Disney freaks. We're going as much as we can, and we will continue to do that. But as you take things away, it makes it harder for us to justify to ourselves what we're spending and how we're spending it. If I had the money to front the annual passes and I knew I could make that work for a year, I would do it. And I'm not saying it's off the table ever again, but it's been hard to justify it in recent years, I would say. But not to say that won't change in the future.
Yeah. And not to say now that we're monetized on YouTube. We could have TikTok subscriptions if we wanted to. And of course, we have DillosDizResort.com, which is our Patreon membership, beginning at $1 per month. DillosDizResort.com. I think the storms are coming into Long Island there because Jen is glitching like crazy.
Oh, that's funny. I felt it was you.
I assume it's Jen and not me. So let us know in the chat who it is.
Oh, yeah. I think it's you. But it could be both because it's all over the place.
Oh no. Maybe the storms are coming into Queens and on the way to Long Island.
Can you hear us now?
If I could definitively say I can go for 3 to 4 long weekends a year, I would get the annual pass.
Yeah.
It's my scheduling more than the price at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the price.
Yeah, well,
this is price, which is why we're going to be doing the YouTube monetization, the TikTok subscription, and DillosDizResort.com all at the same time.
Catch us on the TikTok shop soon too. I think it's just it's always been that. It's always been that. Even when Mr. Sandalo and I were getting them, and it was before kids, and we lived in an apartment, and it was always like, can we front the money? Do we want to front the money? Does it make sense? But you would make it make sense, and it was okay. But it's just again, Disney math just makes sense. We're gonna keep doing it. It's just rough seeing it when it's all laid out.
Louis, I don't think I have to go more than that. I think if I get 9 days in the park, I'm happy.
1,500 is 10 days for full price.
Depends when I'm going. Depends when I'm not blocked out.
You getting blackout dates if you're
with
getting
the
annual
park
pass?
hopper, or just 10 single days.
Yeah, Jeffers, it makes total sense for me this year, and I still can't bring myself to front the money. It's a lot of money to put
Jen's
up front.
gonna have fun editing.
Yeah, I will be editing this final portion while watching Kevin Pearson fall off the wagon
again. I'm gonna wrap it up and pass it to Jen.
Thanks, everyone, at DillosDizResort.com for watching. You can join DillosDizResort.com if you're listening to the audio feed by just joining for $1. That gets you into our world-renowned one-channel Discord. But if you can't find us there, you can find us on social media, on the Instagram, on the Facebook, on the TikTok, everywhere. And we appreciate all of you for listening. We appreciate those of you at the resort, and we'll see you real soon. So until next time, that's Frank, possibly glitching. I'm Jen. Deuces.
Bye-bye.
The Dillo's Diz podcast is hosted by Frank Cardillo and Jen Cardillo-Snyder. Music produced by Matt Harvey. Logos and video production courtesy of Snidillo Studios. Dillo's Diz Resort is our Patreon with tiers starting as low as $1 per month. You can visit DillosDizResort.com to learn more. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X Twitter, and Facebook at Dillo's Diz. Check us out on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/DillosDiz. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there. We also have merch available on TeePublic and Etsy. For all this and more, visit our one-stop shop, DillosDiz.com. Dillo's Diz Podcast 2024.